My name is Brandy Montgomery Riggins. I work in diversity and inclusion in Charter Communications, and I'd like to formally welcome you to the Naming Leadership Spotlight. Today we'll be speaking to Ninnet Bowman. Ninnet is in a newly created role as the Director of Corporate Social Responsibility for Operations for Charter Communications. I want to tell you a little bit about what Ninnet does in her role. She oversees the effective execution of operational tasks related to CSR programs, which also includes working with both internal and external stakeholders to execute our philanthropic strategy in the framework of Charter Communications. Ninnet is a veteran. She spent the last 18 years with Time Warner Cable in various operational leadership roles, including wireless operations, dispatch, residential, and commercial phone provisioning. So Ninnet, with that being said, welcome today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Ninnet, I know that your career spanned 18 years at Legacy Time Warner Cable, but could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the journey that you took to become the leader that you are today?
Absolutely, Brandy. So I was the youngest of 7 siblings, and so you can imagine that there is not much democracy that goes on there. I spent a number of years being told what to do, so I was determined to not grow up and be in a job where other people get to tell me what to do. I wanted to tell other people what to do. Now, as I matured, that really changed. And it turned into really wanting to be a leader, positive change, inspiring others, meeting goals and objectives. Those things are what really excited me as I started to get older and mature in my vision. And so for my journey, I actually sought out great mentors to help me get to the place that I wanted to be in terms of leadership, modeling those folks that have experiences and could tell me, how to best navigate my career to become the leader that I wanted to be. And it's still a journey. I don't think you ever get to the end of that journey. I think you continue to mature. I think that you continue to add texture and depth in your leadership journey. And I think that, I'll always seek after opportunities to make myself better. And to grow as a leader. Thinking back on one of the most phenomenal managers I've ever had saying embrace the journey, I decided to take that leap of faith. So along the way, great mentors, great leadership programming, great people that I sought after to give me some advice on how to be a good leader. And so, it's an effort that's worth the journey, but you have to seek out those things. Opportunities just don't come knocking on your door. You have to get up every day and be purposeful about your leadership journey.
Well, that's a good segue into our next question. With our naming employee base, we have just different variations of people in all walks of life. We have people who are entry level. We have people who are individual contributors who want to move into the leadership role. So what type of advice would you offer someone or share with them on how to build bold leadership skills so that they can be seen?
So building bold leadership skills, again, it's something that you do on purpose, right? So that means you have to make up in your mind and find someone you like to model after. Obviously, if you're not a leader now, you have to look for those examples of bold leadership. I am a firm believer that no one can give you your confidence, right? That has to come from within. And in that, you find people who are confident and people you want to model after, and get to know them and get to know about their journey and what things they've been through, what things that they advise in terms of setting a path and a course. And then make sure that it is a path and a course that you're trying to reach an endpoint in terms of leadership, because obviously, if you come in and you kind of haphazardly do this thing, you're going to be that haphazard leader, right? So you want to be purposeful in that, and you want to find someone to model after and reach out to. And then there are great programs available, particularly in our industry. NAMIC offers great leadership programs. They do. Some of the best I've ever seen, award-winning, in fact. And so joining organizations such as NAMIC brings opportunities to you for leadership development in programs, in seminars, in an actual leadership development course.
And I didn't pay her to say that this is a great reason of why you should actually be a member of NAMIC. So thank you, Ninnet, for that. I wanted to sort of switch gears and go off course a little bit. And I got this question based off of some of the things that you said a few moments ago. So in everyone's career, we've all done that one thing that we wish we wouldn't have done. And a lot of times when we do that, when we're early in our careers, we feel like the world is over. We can never move past that. Everyone is going to remember what I did. How can you help someone get over that feeling? Like, I know that's probably happened to you because it's definitely happened to me, but what advice would you give to someone who's had a situation like that as far as getting through it?
And I'll give you a great example because we've all had to. If you've been on this journey long enough, you've had that situation happen. I actually volunteered to do something, a high visibility project, and I was going to have to interface with a number of executive leaders, people who could make or break my career. I wasn't wise enough to know that I couldn't handle it. I took it on because the opportunity was there and I was in a rush to become a leader. And so I thought, what a perfect thing to do, get on this project and be seen. Well, they saw me and they saw what a mess I made in that particular project. And the unfortunate thing is it took me a minute to get over it. But what someone said to me, and I wish I had had that advice before taking on that project, was don't be afraid to reset. Don't be afraid to recalibrate. Don't continue walking down the road in the wrong direction. You have to be mature enough to stop, realize the mistake while you're in it, and then do what you can to get out of that, and then learn from that. I think you never become successful unless you've had a few mistakes. You tend to remember those lessons a lot more than you remember sometimes some of the successes. And so I think in that case, it's not the end of the world. There are only a few things that happen that are irreversible, death being one of them. But this is not the end. It's a teaching moment.
You know what, and I wish I would have had you when I was early in my career because I know that it would have helped me get over the situation that I was in much, much, much sooner. So I sort of want to switch gears and ask you a selfish question, and it's more about your actual role in your department. And I wanted to talk about it because the department is new, and a lot of people don't exactly know what corporate social responsibility is. So could you just tell our membership base what are some of the initiatives that you all are working on for 2017?
So Brandy, I'm going to be honest with you. When someone first approached me about this department and they called it CSR, I was just thinking, customer service representative, right? And no, and a lot of people are going to think that when they hear CSR. Actually, the term is pretty new. The profession is pretty new. And so a lot of people are not aware of corporate social responsibility in its formal sense. You may have seen it in different areas such as employee volunteerism. You may have seen, blood drives, or where we raise money for the Cancer Society, or where we've gone out into the community and we've done work. And you probably have seen those things. But what corporate social responsibility is, it's a strategic way to do philanthropy. Okay. And that means we're purposeful about how we give and how we show up in the communities. And so my department really is responsible for the overall strategic philanthropic give of charter communications. And we do that in a number of ways. We do that with community investment, with our Spectrum Housing Assist, with employee engagement, our volunteers for all of our different events. We can do that with, supporting digital education in our communities. So there are a lot of things that we do that make up our strategic philanthropic give, and our team just kind of responsible for making sure that it all comes together and that it is streamlined and that we make impact that people can see.
All right, thank you for that. Your department is a Stanford-based department, and then the people who are going to watch this are primarily based in the North Carolina area, so it gives them a glimpse of what you do on the other side, and so thank you for sharing that with us. And so the last question that I have for you, because we talked a lot about leadership, we talked about growth, we talked about a little bit about what you do, but I want to know, what makes you just happy to come to work each morning? What are you passionate about? It doesn't necessarily have to be work related, but just What are some things that you're passionate about, and then how have you used that passion to help others with their growth?
So actually, one of the things I'm really passionate about, and what gets me up in the morning, are the people that I work with. And I don't mean just the people that I see every day and the people that I interface with every day. I mean truly the people that I work with in this company. So if I meet you tomorrow for the very first time, you're one of the reasons why I come to work. I'm very passionate about mentorship. I think that it is the key. I think that a lot of people get to where they are in their career much faster when they have people who are willing to help them along the way, to avoid some of the pitfalls. If I fell into the pothole, I need to tell you so that you don't fall into the pothole, right? And I think that that's one of the things that I really like. And I only get to do that when I come here and I interact with folks. I think that the spectrum of folks that we have working with us, very diverse groups. I get to meet people I otherwise would not have a chance to meet. And I think that, their experiences, work experiences, and life experiences enrich us all.
All right. Well, thank you. And actually, just a little side note, I actually work very closely with Ninnet. I think we partner with each other almost on a daily basis, but I've actually learned a lot from you that I didn't know just from having the conversation today. So thank you for enlightening me. And with that being said, that is going to conclude our Naming Leadership Spotlight for today. Stay tuned to Spotlight 3 coming near you.